You guys are already on here. That's so awesome. What's going on? Oh man. I'm gonna let a few more people jump on here. Usually takes a few seconds. But it's been a fun week so far. Alright guys, this is Gene Jensen and it's time for Friday Night Live. Is that how you say it? I'm not gonna scream it. I'm actually in a condo right now, so and it's an old condo, so it's got thin walls and thin floors. But anyway, what's up, guys? Hey, Z Wins, Jan Fishing. Oh, Creepy Cooter's cousin, what's up, man? See you here every week. That's so awesome. What is up? Brian Thomas, welcome back to the live then, man. Glad you finally caught us. Oh man, Grant Henry, hi. How are you? Cannot wait for the new content and new lake. When will it happen? My boat is actually there right now. I'm down here in Orlando for iCast and for a family vacation. I'm gonna try to stop back up there Saturday on the way up and grab the boat and fish for a little bit and try to get a couple of videos in before I go back home. But anyway, so let me make a few announcements, you guys. Yes, I am down here for iCast. We come a little bit early every year to go on vacation. Surprise my kids with Disney. Um, just ate a bunch of spaghetti, so I'm kind of got a little bit of heartburn. But surprised my kids with Disney. Today we went fishing on Disney. It was pretty cool. Take me fishing.org. They basically they sponsor the fishing side of it. In other words, they help take care of all of the boats and everything else and the guides. Um, and they have fishing excursions at Disney, all over Disney, which is pretty cool. But man, we went and took all the kids out, and they caught each of them caught fish. Juliana caught her first fish by herself, made the cast, hooked the fish, brought it in the whole 9 yards without me helping at all, which was really cool. Got it on video, so we've been videoing the whole thing. So it's gonna be pretty neat. But the big announcement, where you guys have a chance to win something, is I mentioned it a little bit last week about Bienville, but it's their concert in October called Party in the Pines. And actually, this is where we're launching this giveaway, is right here on this live video. And then I'm going to make another video tomorrow to put on my Instagram, and maybe another one I'll include it in my next video, or one of my next videos for the channel. But anyway, Party in the Pines. I'm going to turn this around so you guys can see it. It is a 3-day or a 2-day country music festival in Bienville, or at Bienville in White Springs, Florida. The headline bands are Zach Brown Band and Little Big Town. Then we have Kip Moore, Luke Combs, Dan and Shy, Ginger Smith, the Cadillac Three, Lindsay L., Mark O'Connor Band, Cassidy Pope, Drew Baldridge, One More, and Riley Keegan. So it's a whole bunch of country music artists. It's good for the family. Go camping. Campers show up a couple days before or a day before, but go on their website at what's the website? It's Party in the Pines. I think it's partyinthepines.com. It's not on here, but go on there and check it out. But the giveaway is, I'm going to go ahead and read what I'm going to say in the video. They gave me a little thing to say, but Bienville Plantation is hosting the second annual Party in the Pines in this October. Register each week, and you can win a pair of tickets to the Party in the Pines concert. A grand prize will be given away in late September. So each week you register and you can win a ticket. Now there's a grand prize that will be given away in late September to include VIP concert tickets, a guided fishing trip with me on Bienville. Um, Holy cow! Just lost my place. And a whole lot more. You'll get a chance to meet and greet one of the Party in the Pines musicians or recording artists, and and I'll make sure you catch fish. It'll be a lot of fun. About then, the chatterbait should be on fire. Right about that period of time. So the way you enter is you text Flukemaster, Flukemaster. You text that to 888-111, and you can enter. Like I said, you can enter every week. And in late September, they'll announce the grand prize winner, and you'll find out whether you get to go fishing with me and get VIP tickets and everything else. So it is going to be a blast. I'll announce this again at the end of the video, but that's what's going on, man. That's the big announcement. Scott, my photographer, put together this real cool little deal right here. So that's pretty neat. That'll be the thumbnail for the video that I put out. But anyway, so just in case you missed it, uh, text Flukemaster to 888-111. So that's awesome. Thanks, guys, for putting that up there. So you get a chance to win. Like I said, you can do it every week. So what else is going on? iCast. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate the $10, brother. I will see you this next week. But at iCast this next week, I will be doing live videos. I'm going to try to do them every day. I can't promise because it's busy. I've got a busy full schedule. I've got a lot of meetings. But as much as I can, especially early in the morning, I'm going to be doing a bunch of live deals. I may not launch a video this next week. I've got a couple of them in the till, so I might throw those up there. But that's the goal. Tuesday is iCast on the water, where I get to show off the new Bonafide kayak. Wednesday is iCast, Thursday is iCast, Friday is iCast. And by Friday, I'm about dead. My knees hurt, my feet hurt, everything hurts from standing up all day. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of cool things coming out, a lot of cool rods from 13 that I've seen. A lot of things. The Bonafide kayak is awesome. I've only seen the blueprints of it. I haven't been in it, but they say it's pretty great. So, trying to think of anything else. So that's what's going on next week. I'd like to publicly thank TakeMeFishing.org for taking me fishing today. That was a lot of fun, taking the kids fishing. I can't wait to show you guys that video. They had an absolute blast. Jake broke off a big one at the boat. We were fishing out of a pontoon boat, but that was he hadn't retied. It was frayed. His line was frayed. So thanks for entering, you guys. That's awesome. Like I said, we're gonna make it official here, and then the next few days I'll post some videos on Instagram about it. So just in case you missed this here, you'll pick it up on Instagram. So now let's get to some Q&A stuff. My kids might be coming in the door in here a little bit. They went to go get some ice cream. I'm down in Orlando, Florida at a condo. This is where I'll be the remainder of the week, and heading to iCast. I'm actually going deep sea fishing on Sunday, I believe. I hope to get a video out of it. I don't know what all this is. It's an event with Nissan trucks, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, Kobe, come on, man. Kobe says, I saw you at Magic Kingdom before the parade thing, but was scared to come talk to you. Dude, I'm the most approachable person on the planet. Just come on up and say hi. I hate to hear that. It drives me nuts because all you got to do is come up and just say hi to me and I'll talk because I love to do it. So, Kane Simpson Fishing, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Justin Lane, hey Gene, love your videos. Would love to stay and chat, but my son just came and tugged on my sleeve, telling me it's time to watch a movie. Go do it, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Supreme Being, I've seen your question a couple of times. I love your little thumbnail there, or your avatar. Flukemaster, what's the best beginner bass fishing all-around rod and reel, and what ratio and length? It's really going to depend on what you can afford. And I'm gonna do the ones that I have tried out. Okay, I always say go to Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops. Check out their store brand combos and get the best one you can afford. The other option is 13's got the I almost called it the blackout, the fake chrome, which is a really good rod, and their good beginner type reel are the Omen or the Origins, Origin A and the Origin C. So check those out too. That'd be awesome. So Hunter M. Matt, gonna see a T on that hat. T's gonna have to start winning. I'm just saying, Tennessee's gonna have to start winning games. I don't want to hear anybody tell me to put on Tennessee hat because they are losers right now. All right, done with that. Hey, let's see. Whitetail Blast. What's the best hot summer bait? My favorite is, I usually go with soft plastics. Big worms are my favorite out of the soft plastics this time of the year. Carolina rig them, drag them on the bottom, offshore structure, humps, drops, long points, things like that. So, let's see. I'm gonna catch up here in a minute. How to fish submerged weeds like bushes, but no wood, just bushes and weeds with lures so I don't get snagged and put. Go look at my video called "How to Fish a Mojo Rig," and then also how to fish in the grass. I've got a bunch of videos like that. So let me see if I can try to catch up. Dick's Corp for Sporting Goods does carry some 13 fishing stuff now. I know they have the Omen Blacks, the bright green glow sticks. Best summertime bait for ponds when it's 100 degrees and very humid. Same thing, soft plastics, man. Just I like to fish offshore structure with soft plastics in the summertime if I can get out there. If I can't, I'm finding grass. Submerged grass creates oxygen, which attracts the bait fish and attracts the bass. So, oh, Phantom Fishing, what's up, brother? Didn't know about Disney Fishing. Do you set that up before you go? You can. You can set up before you go, or something you can get while you're there. They're pretty booked, so I'd set it up before. I can't remember the cost of it. My wife set all that up. So, but it's 2 hour and 4 hour trips, so they're short. You can get out of them, and you can get to the one in the early in the morning and take off and go to the park when the park opens. I got there at 7 this morning. So, and they like to leave a little earlier than that this time of the year. Um, let's see. Flukemaster, what are your thoughts on the popper versus the whopper plopper? They're two totally different baits. I just got my popper video back from my editor where I pulled the poppers out of the Lucky Tackle box and made a video about them. And I'm gonna as soon as I get off here, I'm gonna try to get it ready to launch Sunday. Is probably when that one will launch. But the popper is a slow moving, stays in the area. You can kind of finesse fish it for say. You can fish it really slow and easy. And then the whopper plopper is faster, cover a lot more water with it. So Riff Raff, man, says shout out. Hey, man, love your channel. Watch it every time I find a situation in which I need advice when I'm just bobber fishing. Love it. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Let's see. Keith's fishing the double fluke rig in the morning. That's good. Fish it slower than you think you should, and you'll catch fish. How to fish open water with small brush piles and 89-degree waters. Beginner fisher. Woo! Versus husband. Oh, my goodness. 89-degree water, brush piles. I always, when it gets that hot, I treat it almost like it's wintertime. It is. I'm sorry. Jake just poked his head out of the bathroom. I think he's been in the shower. But anyway, so I totally lost my train of thought. But I drag it. I make sure you fish it really slow, just big worms, that kind of stuff. My favorite color for wintertime or for summertime is anything that's kind of pink. Red bug works good too, but tequila sunrise is my favorite. What color soft plastic do you use when fishing? Mostly green pumpkin, and then I'll change some stuff around. Steve Pescatelli, what's the best bait to catch a hot blonde? Dude, you've already got a hot blonde for a wife. Leave me alone. I've got the most beautiful wife in the world. Disney fishing info. That's good. Price is $170 for 2 hours, which is really good. It's comparable to just about any other guide service. But yeah, that's really good. How can you extend a morning top water bite? Hydro wave. I don't know. I really, to extend it, you really have to have clouds. It all depends on the weather. You got to have low light conditions is the only thing I worry about. Unless you're on a blueback herring lake, because when the sun comes out, the blueback herring actually moves shallow. Every time I do that, the background color changes. Anyway, the blueback herring moves shallow and the bass start hitting top water on blueback lakes. B Ward Fishing, Gene, you've made me a better fisherman. Thanks for all the tips and videos. Keep doing what you're doing. And by the way, nice truck. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I love my truck. I still got some work to do. I need to do with it. I need to adjust the back shock because I have too much stuff in the trunk, in the back of it. So, hey, Gene, I get a mess of dinks in a milfoil-filled lake, gin clear water. How do you get the big ones? I mentioned this earlier. Go watch the video called "How to Fish a Mojo Rig," and it can also be entitled "How to Fish a Split Shot Rig." That is the best rig for fishing really clear lake. It's a finesse technique. Clear lakes with a lot of grass. That's the way I like to do it, especially when I'm fishing milfoil. Let's see. Hey, Gene, how did you talk your wife into letting you fish enough to make it a career? I had to make it a career first, and I had to just put up with my wife until she realized that it was going to become her career. That was the hard part. So made for a lot of interesting discussions. How would you mount an electronic unit to a flint or a kayak without a dry pack? Ooh. To be honest with you, I hate to drill holes in my kayak, and I hate to through hole mount the transducer. I'd put it on an arm over the side. I know Yak Attack's coming out with a really good one. You'll see it at iCast. As a matter of fact, I'll try to take a picture of it and post it on Instagram. Let's see. Coleman Reed, what do you think of the new Pelican Catch with the knockoff Mirage Drive debuts at iCast? I don't know yet, man. I'm gonna go look at all of those things. That'd be good. That ought to be pretty good. Steve, thanks for just having fun. Yeah, I know, man. Do you think watermelon red worms work well in summer? Yes, they do. I like to use them in clear water. I don't like to use them when the water gets any color in it. And watermelon red is really good for sunny days in clear water. How do you fish a place that has hardly any cover? Oh, it's rough for me, and I'm used to a lot of cover. Typically, what I would do is I'd start at the I'd find where the deepest part of the water is closest to the bank, really, or closest to the shallowest water, and I'd fish those drops. Fish when they don't have any cover, they're going to relate to structure or changes in the bottom. Uh, Fish something like a jig if it's hard bottom, or a Carolina rig if it's not. That kind of stuff around those drops, you should be okay. So hunting in Preston, you going to be at the GON Outdoor Blast? Probably not. I haven't got any plans to do it, and I haven't looked at the schedule, but maybe I'll show up there if I can. I'll have to look at it. So, Chris Caldery, do you not answer Messenger anymore? Depends on when, and how. They're the new app that they use to do the pages or do the fan pages and stuff like that. Like I have, is really difficult to check Messenger and do it quickly. That's the biggest problem. Is I usually try to check them as fast as I can because I have so many of them, and it just gets very very difficult. But I try. Um, let's see, Flukemaster, how do you fish an algae bloom? I fish it just like muddy water. Or if it's an algae bloom with algae on the top, I'll fish it like it's clear underneath muddy water, so it's low light conditions. Spinner baits, crankbaits, that kind of stuff. Top water works really good too. What is being put up for a chance to win? Oh, I'll announce that here in just a little bit, Kyle. I announced it at the beginning, but I'll do it again. It's a chance to win VIP tickets to the party in the Pines for Bienville, but I'll tell you the details here in just a little bit. Have you tried using DC reels? Not yet. I sure haven't. I haven't even heard about those. Flukemaster, what do you think of golf course bass fishing? If you can get permission, that's great. So right behind my condo is an old shut down golf course. It literally, the grass is all growing up and everything else. It's got a few ponds that I don't think anybody's fished for a long time, so I may have to grab a rod out of the truck, head on over and see what it's all about. But the kids have been bugging me about it, but we've been going to Disney every day. Hey Gene, how do I fish a really muddy and pressured pond? This pond has a few bass and some brush. They're going to be shallow. They're going to be really, really tight to cover, and they're going to be reaction. They'll hit reaction baits like spinner baits and square bills that are bumped into whatever cover they're in. Also try a black and blue creature bait on a Texas rig thrown real close to cover. Many, many casts. Take a lot of casts towards that cover, and you'll end up getting a bite if there's a bass there. Favorite drop shot rod and reel setup: a medium light 7-foot. Medium light 7-foot spinning rod, a Creed GT 3000 reel, 15 to 20 pound test braided line, and 4, 6, or 8 pound test fluorocarbon leader. And the leader I usually start with about 1.5 times the length of the rod, and then it'll get whittled down over time as I retie and do all kinds of other stuff. So, what's your Ned rig rod and reel setup? Ned rig is the same as the one I just said. It's a medium light action rod, 7 foot, maybe a 7'2" if I'm making one, or 7'3" if I'm making real long casts. But yeah, 7 foot medium light spinning rod, light line, braided line, same thing, just my finesse rod. So, Adrian, that's a good question. How do you decide when to flip and when to frog mats? I actually will try both. I usually try frog first because I can work the area real good, but if they're not hitting if they're coming up and swirling at it, or they're just bumping it, I'll start flipping. Or I always have a flipping bait set up right next to me if I get blown up on that frog and they miss it, I won't throw the frog back. I'll reach down and grab that flipping bait and throw it in the hole. And 99 times out of 100, you're gonna catch that fish. So, but you have to be quick at it. Just started fishing, and you're my dude. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. I'm impressed my friend by I impressed my friend by spooling my own spinning reel. That's awesome. Good deal, man. That's awesome. Creepy Cooters, what weight for which depth of what? I'm guessing you. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Throw it back up there because I must have missed your last comment. Favorite shaky head worm, no biospawn lures. Dang. Usually I'll just go with a trick worm. Really, shaky head. I love that 7-inch trick worm or anything that size. The Strike King perfect plastic little trick worm is a really good one too. It's got a different buoyancy to it than a zoom. So sometimes one or the other. So let's see. What do you do for matted grass when they want finesse worms? I fish the edges of the matted grass. I don't. I might try to punch a finesse worm, but that's crazy. Usually when I'm punching, it's a reaction bait. They don't care what it is. They just scares the crap out of them and they reach up and grab it. So I am so far behind in these comments. Let me think. Oh, Josh Keller, good. I love it. I'm glad you mentioned that. He said, hey, Fluke, please do something with your trolling motor and camera. You can hear the prop run when you hit the button. I know. It's horrible. I fixed it. I know how to fix it. I am actually going to start using my external mic a whole lot more than I have been. That thing's just giving me issues with batteries and things like that, but I decided I was going to just totally get away from not using an external mic on that front mount on my GoPro. So it's going to be gone. I'm not going to do that again. So learn from my own mistakes, but I hate to not put that video out because it was so cool being able to fish with Taylor Cox. Flukemaster, what do you recommend for a fish finder at a beginning? Get one that at least has down scan, not side imaging, sorry, down scan, regular sonar, and GPS mapping. And then buy the biggest screen that you can afford. Don't break the bank. If it's a 5-inch, fine, it's a 5-inch. If it's a 7-inch, fine. But get the biggest screen you can afford so you can put the most amount of information on there, and then get out there and use it. And don't be afraid of it. That's the biggest thing. So, what's your opinion on spin cast reels? They are very problematic. I'm just shy of saying they suck, but they just have so many problems. It's like having a spinning reel, but you can't see the problems in it. So you have to take the dang thing apart every time you get too much line twist and stuff like that. With a spinning reel, you can at least see the problems so you can fix them quickly. So I hate giving those things to my kids. They get so frustrated with them after a short amount of time. Thanks, Joseph. Appreciate it. Thanks for that question. Jeffrey Manuel, night fishing on Toledo Bend in Texas. What should I be fishing with after dark? A black whopper plopper, a big one, not the 190, but like the 130. So, be honest. What's your least favorite rig, lure, whatever to fish? A Senko. I hate, and I do it. I fish it because it works, but I hate fishing Senkos. I'd rather watch paint dry than to fish a Senko, but I do it, and it works a lot of times. But it's hard. It's hard on me. Oh, I hate it. Let's see. How about a Lowrance video for kayak down scan and side scan use and what to look for? I'm working on that one. That one's gonna be a little bit tough. I got to talk to Lowrance first and see what I got to talk to Lowrance. Grant. What's going on, man? Grant's a good buddy of mine from the Midwest. Glass cranking is a fiberglass rod with a very slow action. Yes, it keeps you from ripping the lure from the fish when they set the hook. That's true. A glass will do that, and a moderate action rod will help that. But if you want a lot of flex, get a glass rod. So, do you change your approach when you bass fish in different parts of the country? Ronald, that's a great question. I do not. I don't change my approach at all. I'm always, a bass is a bass is a bass is a bass. Anywhere. They're a predatory fish. They're looking for certain things. I pay more attention to the bait fish. If it's blueback herring, I know they're an offshore fish. I know the bass are going to be offshore most of the year. If it's alewife and that kind of stuff up north, I know they're going to be shallow. They're going to be in the grass. They're going to be close to the bottom, whatever. I just pay attention more to the bait fish than anything. Shad are don't like the sun. They get away from the sun. They get in the shade, that kind of stuff. So it's just all that's where I changed my approach. But I'd still look for them the same way as I do everything else. So all those videos that I've made over the years about how to find fish, I do it everywhere, and I can catch a bass almost every single day that I'm out. At least one bass, maybe a dink, but I can usually catch a bass just by following the rules that I've already put on video, and I'm going to continue to make more and more videos about how to do it. So, fish them out. What's up, man? Hey, Gene, finally got time to make it on here for Friday Night Live. I've been watching your videos for a few months now and have learned a ton. Anytime I'm wondering about a new technique or bait, very grateful. That's awesome, man. Appreciate it. Glad you made it. A lot of questions about electronics, dude. Lowrance or Humminbird? I'm gonna have to say either or, really. It just depends. I like Lowrance because I've gotten used to using it. I went back to the Lowrance because the Garmin was not user friendly, but Lowrance and Humminbird are. Garmin's gonna have to change a few things in my book, and that's my opinion, 100% my opinion. But that's the reason why I got rid of my Garmin's, was because I wanted to pull my hair out trying to get them to work the way I wanted them to work, and I was trying not to compare them to Lowrance. So anyway. Am I getting noise from my Ultrex like in the videos? No, the only reason that it's noisy like that is because the cable that runs to my trolling motor is up against my camera stand, and it pushes up against my camera stand. My camera stand is just a skinny little pole, and so the vibration from that is what makes all that noise through the microphone, and it's 100% fixed now that I'm going to use an external microphone all the time. So, no, it's not the Ultrex. It was just the way that was set up. So, hey, Gene, how do you fish? What happened to Ray Marine? That's a good question. I have no clue. They were supposed to email me over a year ago, and I never heard from them. So, anyway, hey, Gene, how do you fish wood structure in lakes and ponds? Thanks. Love your channel. Thanks, man. Wood structure. It all depends. If there's a lot of it, I tend to pay more attention to where the creek channel or where the deep drops are, and I fish the wood that's close to them, or I fish the wood all the way to the bank. I don't fish anything in between. If it's just scattered wood structure, I'll flip and pitch to everything. So it just all depends on how much you got. This question I've seen a few times. From the edge to the lodge. I like that name. That's pretty cool. Hey, Gene, I have no cover in a power generating lakes near me. I understand that completely. Lake Norman and Lake Wiley, heavy pressured. Where should I look for the bass? Right now, they're going to be deep. Those are really clear lakes, from what I understand. Lake Norman may not be. I can't remember. But anyway, deep structure, deep cover. So humps, long points, brush piles that are on those. I'll drop shot them. I'll drop a jig on them. That's about what I'll do. I'll Carolina rig around the points. So, thanks for answering my questions. I look forward to Fridays. That's awesome, man. Thanks, Adrian. What's your go-to muddy water finesse technique? I don't fish finesse in muddy water. That's it doesn't work. I'm not going to fish it. It's going to be a reaction bait. I'm going to try to scare the living crap out of whatever fish gets close to my bait, or I get my bait close to, is what the goal is. So Robin asks, does iBobber work for bank fishing? What would you recommend other than losing lures to check the bottom? I wouldn't use iBobber. The one I like to use is Sonar Phone. It looks more like a real fish finder. So if you ever go from using the castable fish finders to a real fish finder, you won't have a problem figuring out what you're seeing or what you're doing. You'll already have a pretty good idea of it. So Sonar Phone is probably the best one in my opinion out there. And it's only like $100. It's not much. What would you throw? Let me see. Nate, what would you throw into a weeping willow that's sagging down in the water? I had a place like that on Lake Oconee. They cut that weeping willow out about 3 years ago, and I just about cried. My favorite thing to do with a weeping willow is to actually throw a fluke into the tree and wiggle it until it falls to the bottom and let it sink real slow down and have a little bit of a weight, a keel weighted hook or something on it. You can do that with any soft plastic. I just like using a fluke, especially this time of the year when the mayflies are in that tree. Hey Gene, do you ever fish a lake without any knowledge beforehand, and what factors determine if you fish deep or shallow? I do a lot, and I try to do that as much as I can because it's something I really enjoy is going to a lake with absolutely no information and having fun fishing it. And I do it the same way. First thing I look at is watercolor. The watercolor and clarity determine what color lures I'm using. Determines a lot of times it determines the depth the fish are at, and that kind of stuff. And then conditions before I got there and you know while I'm there, what's going on. Everything factors in. It's so hard to put it all into one video. That's why I've made so many videos about how to find fish. But I do the same checklist in my head over and over again. And if I can't catch any fish, I do that checklist all over again while I'm out on the water and I figure it out. But go from there. I know, kind of get an idea of what lures I'm throwing. At the time of the year determines it. So seasonal patterns, things like that. Where the bass should be located is one of the first places I look. And I spend my time looking. I don't spend a whole lot of time fishing for the first little while when I get to a new lake. I motor around or I'll walk around if it's a pond, and I want to get to know what all's going on. So, do you like fishing Yum Dingers or Gary Yamamoto Sinkos more? I fish Yamamoto Sinkos more than Yum Dingers. I used to fish Dingers all the time, but I haven't picked any up in a long time. So, um, what's your thoughts on line conditioner? And if you use some, what brand do you use? I have used for about the last 12 years, maybe 15 years, I've used KVD line and lure, or it's just called line and lure. And it's a line conditioner that you spray on when the spool is new. When you get this, even my bulk spools, I'll soak it in it and it dries to it, and it really does help prolong the life of mainly your fluorocarbon and your monofilament and your copolymer. It'll make it last a lot longer on your reel. I mean, I put 20-pound fluorocarbon on a reel, sprayed it once a year, and I fished it for 3 years, and I know I caught over 1,000. It was my jig rod. I know I caught over 1,000 fish. Hunter's 5 Matt. Oh, cool, man. Thanks for the $5. Wanting to upgrade from Red Label. Woo, please do. What's your fluoro uh, like to use? Go Jackets. um, I use high dollar fluoro. I use Cigar Abrase X, and I use what else do I use? No, Smackdown's my braid, but I use a Brazex, and it's my favorite fluorocarbon. I use it because it performs well, and it's a lot less resistant, or a lot more resistant to nicks and scratches. And it lasts a lot longer. So I kind of weigh the differences. Is it a $20 reel or spool of line, or is it a $25 spool of line? And I'm always gonna go up above and get the more expensive stuff, and then take care of it and try to make it last as long as I possibly can. So, you and Tactical video still happening? I don't know. I texted him. I haven't gotten a response. I got a response, but it didn't say anything about me coming out and fishing with him. I know he's pretty shook up after that trip, and he lost his boat, lost his truck, lost a bunch of stuff. So, I mean, I'll even drive my dang boat out there and go fishing with him. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. What's the biggest worm I ever fished? A 16-inch worm. How long were those stinking things? They were long. I took a bag of 16-inch worms out to a private lake. It was a neighborhood lake. It was big, a big neighborhood lake, and I fished it all day long for 16 hours. And I didn't catch anything under 5 pounds. It was a lot of fun. I didn't get a lot of bites, but it was a lot of fun. Southern Outdoors, thanks for the $5, man. I appreciate it. What's up, Gene? Mark Hill says, "What's up, Gene? Me and my son always watch your videos. Learned so much from your videos. Got first bait caster and how to use it because of your videos. That's awesome. Grew up in Savannah. Love the hat. Thanks, man. Go Dogs." Joni, my buddy from Tennessee. What's going on, man? Hey, Gene, how to fish ledge when there is little or no current? I don't. I don't. If there's little to no current, they're not going to be on it. There might be a few. I'll make a few casts there. Usually, what I do, Joe, is I do a lot of fan casting with crankbaits. And then I'll go find the grass and go fish the grass. I don't really get out on the ledges if there's not any current, especially on Chickamauga. So, Oh, I know. It's probably been tough for you because you can only fish in the morning. That's tough. Sorry, man. Gene, when are you going to shut down the karaoke bar? Don't be telling people I know how to sing. That's not good. Grant, that's funny. Isaiah Velasquez. I had a drill sergeant in the army with that last name. Hey Gene, how do you find fish on a big lake during the summer without electronics? Usually what I do is I go look for the big points of land that are sticking out into the water, and then I get up on where I think they are, and I start making casts with a jig or a Carolina rig and try to fish those points. That's the best way I know how. Oh man, I've been up since too early this morning. So, um, do you still you only use your Abu Garcias or strictly 13 fishing? Strictly 13 fishing. I am sponsored by them. I still have those old Revos though, those old Gen 1 Revos in a box in my barn. I don't think I'll ever get rid of them because they were so good. I wish Abu still made as good a reels as those first generation Revos and even those second generations. But I haven't tried the new ones, so I can't give you that opinion on the new ones. But I'm talking about the first, second, and third generation ones. What's the best moving bait to use in the Eurasian milfoil? Anything that'll stay above it, really. Spinnerbait's probably the best one. You just have to rip it out of the grass a lot. So, hey, from firefighters from Greenwood, South Carolina. What's up, man? Good old Greenwood. Man, somebody say hi to old Wayman Coleman for me. My brother from another mother. Man, Flukemaster, have you heard of Jed Dickerson and the 25-pound largemouth bass in Southern California? No, I have not. I haven't been paying attention to the news lately, unless that's the old one from years and years ago. Any suggestions fishing super clear and super deep water? Usually, what I fish when I'm deep and cleared, that kind of stuff, is a drop shot and a shaky head is all I'm gonna fish, and I'm gonna make long casts with some really light fluorocarbon. Do you have any tips on catching finicky bass? Same thing, drop shot and shaky heads. So, what rod do you use for a 10XD? I use a jig rod, a 7'3" medium heavy. Is what I use for 10XDs. If that's all you can find, I know people are making rods for them now, but basically that's all they are, just 7'3" jig rods. um, any tips for new boaters? Man, I need to make videos. Golly, that's one thing I have not had a chance to do yet because I've been fishing a lot of lakes that are idle speed only. Best thing is to learn how to back up the sucker, the trailer. Don't get stuck on the boat ramp looking like a fool. And then learn what your tilt trim switch does. Play around with it and take your time in the boat. Don't go fast right away. And then patiently wait for me to figure out how to do dang videos about it. Any tips for water temp in the high 80s? This is the first summer I have seen those temps this long in small Michigan lakes. Yeah, head for the grass. The grass creates oxygen. When you get into those 80s, the water loses its ability to hold dissolved oxygen for the bass to breathe. So the bass are going to look for grass. They're going to look for current, which is wind or boat traffic or a river or creek running into the lake or whatever. Those are the places I'm going to look, or they're going to go deep off those drops. And deep, it's hard to determine how deep. You just have to kind of look and see where the majority of the fish life on your fish finder are, and kind of fish that deep. So, Kate Parham, I'm new to your channel. Do you ever fish using poppers, and what do you catch with them? I catch bass with them. And if you're talking about the little bluegill poppers you're throwing a fly rod, I bluegill fish with them a lot. I've got a video that I'm going to probably launch on Sunday about fishing poppers, so pay attention to that one. What's your favorite topwater frog right now? The Spro popping. Actually, no. The new one. What's it called? The Pop Shad. Is when I fished the Spro tournament with my son. Not too or in October. That's what we caught most of our fish on. But they're all good. Best worm color for stained water, Joseph. Stained water. Usually green pumpkin is what I'm going to go with first, and then kind of go darker from there. So, Somebody, Hector wants me to make a video about how to pitch and flip from a kayak. Okay, I can do that. I did one a long time ago out of the Hobie, but I can do it. I can do another one. So, what do you think works better in aspects of quality fish, tube jigs or Carolina rig? For me, Carolina rig. I catch a ton of nice fish on a Carolina rig. Only drawback is that they have a tendency to take it deep really fast, and you end up gut hooking some of them. So that's the only drawback to fishing a Carolina rig. Do I have a favorite Florida lake? Yes, it's Fellsmere. They just changed the name of it, but I'm gonna always call it the one at Fellsmere. When I kayak fished it in February, it is an absolute amazing lake. It's kayak fishing only for the next year until they build the boat ramp, and it's awesome. So Shane Y. Gene has done forgot about more about fishing a fluke than we'll ever know. I don't know, dude. I've met a few people. My old fishing partner, Bobby Smith, was one of the best fluke fishermen I have ever met. He was lots better than me. So, let's see. Have you ever used water dogs for bass fishing? I have not. Have you? What are your top 5 big bass baits? Bull shad swim bait is the first one that comes to mind. A jig, um, some type of a flipping creature bait. If I'm punching grass or flipping grass, a jig and a jig are really. I mean, you can catch big fish on anything really, but the ones I actually the lures that I've caught my big fish on were a 7-inch trick worm on a Mojo rig, 8-pound test fluorocarbon finesse fishing, and flipping a vial crawl, or were my two big ones, and then the 10-pounder I caught this last year was on a swim bait, or this spring is actually. Would you guys ever set up satellite filming groups for getting small kayak tournaments coverage on bigger channels? I don't know. We haven't really talked about that. That'd be a good idea, though. Hey, Gene, new subscriber here. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. Thanks for the content. Do you know Richard Gene, the fishing machine? No, I don't. I might have met somebody like that. I don't know. I meet a lot of people. So, I'm not talking to you. Stay on your phone.
Said Jake.
That's my son. Anyway, ever fish Hickory Log Creek Reservoir in Canton, Georgia? I have not. That would be pretty cool. Gene, do you prefer open cast or bait caster? Bait casters. You talking about open cast being like spinning reels? Spinning reels, I use all my light stuff. Everything I'm fishing, finesse fishing, light line, that kind of stuff, it's all going to be spinning reels because it casts better and it performs better for light stuff. And then bait casters are going to be like 10, 12, 14-pound test line, heavier baits, things like that. So, let's see. Me and my best buddy are police officers out here in Lubbock, Texas. Come fish with us, Fluke. Ah, that'd be awesome, man. I need to get out to Texas. I got a couple of. There's a guy out that way I want to do a drop in on, so I got to head that way here soon. Probably in the fall when things cool off a little bit. I'm about done with this heat. Being down here in Florida is I'm done with this heat. Thanks, Fish. I'm out. Appreciate the $5, man. Can you make another video throwing the bull shad? Sure, I can do that. Matter of fact, I'll do one better. I'll have the inventor and the maker of the bull shad do a video with me and let him talk to you about the whole thing. Mike Buca has been a friend of mine since before the bull shad, since 2001. He will always be a friend of mine. I'll always be loyal to him. But I will definitely, he's been bugging me to do that, and we will definitely get that done for you. So, Brian Gentry, thanks for the $10, man. I appreciate you, man. You are awesome. What should I use tomorrow for fishing? I don't know, man. It all depends on your conditions. Use what you have confidence in is what I always say. The heat is everywhere. You ain't kidding. I've gone through so much water this week. Does the Kodiak way, does Super Chat help you? Yes, it does. It really, really does. It helps a lot. Helps for gas money mainly. Been to Carter's Lake lately? No, not in the last year or two. Year and a half is probably was the last time I was out there. Favorite affordable swim bait? If you're talking about a paddle tail, I like to fish the Strike King Rage Swimmer is what I like to fish. Other than that, the hard baits I throw are I don't know if you consider them cheap, anywhere from $20 to $65. depending on what they are. What are they going to do about the Asian carp on the Tennessee River? I don't know, man. That's something I try not to follow because I lose my. Get pretty upset about that kind of stuff. So, never caught a bass before going out on the Snake River with a jig, frog, and shads. Anything else? Might want to take a spinner bait, a small one. So it depends on what Snake River that is. You say Snake River to me, I grew up traveling out west to Idaho and Montana, Wyoming, fishing the Snake River out there. So that's a whole different ball game. That's me with a fly rod and a whole bunch of trout. Best lures to throw on small ponds. What is this? What to start off throwing? I like to start off with a small spinner bait. So, yep, Snake River in Idaho. Man, I love that place. That's awesome. Let's see, Gene, my man. I'm trying to get into. Go get the door, Jake. Jake, go get the door.
Sure.
Jake's on his phone and in the earphones in or headset in. He can't hear a thing. I'm trying to get into the big hard body swim bait game, but I have to run weedless. Man, I don't know anything about that. I'd ask Tactical Bassing that one. He's the swim bait guru. So, but anyway, all right, guys, my family just came in. I'm gonna answer one more question before it gets loud because they just brought me some ice cream. And I really do appreciate you guys jumping on there. That's John Davids. Juliana's hanging out right here. Say hey, Juju.
Hey.
Jordan.
Hello.
So before I do that, let me talk about the giveaway. All right, let me do that all over again. Let me pull up all my stuff. The giveaway we're doing is, I talked about Bienville last year. It is the Party in the Pines is something that they're doing this October. It is a 2.5 or 3 days. What does it say? 19th and 20th. It's a 2-day festival. It's a country music festival. Zach Brown Band, Little Big Town, Kip Moore, Luke Combs, Dan Shy, and a bunch of others are going to be there singing. It's going to be one big old party. They have campgrounds there. They have a place for RVs. You got to go. You got to call and reserve that stuff. But you can win. You can win tickets there, and I'm going to tell you guys how. I'm going to go ahead and read what Bienville sent me. It says, Bienville Plantation is hosting the second annual Party in the Pines this October. Register each week, and you can win a pair of tickets to the Party in the Pines concert. A grand prize will be given out the end of September to include VIP concert tickets, a guided fishing trip with yours truly, let's see, and what else? And a whole bunch more. You get to meet some of the artists or some of the guys, maybe even the Zach Brown Band, who knows. You get to meet some of those guys and get to have a good good party with us. Now, the way you enter is you text Flukemaster to 888-111 for your chance to win. So that's 888-111. And that's how you win a trip to go to Bienville Plantation and fish Bienville Plantation with me in my boat. And unless you want to go in a kayak, and we'll have some bona fides there for you. So how about that? So you guys go enter. Like I said, you can enter every week. Let's see. Let me answer one more question. I saw one I want to say. Since you've gotten so heavy into fishing, do you still fish Georgia more or find yourself fishing other states more often? I'm from Oglethorpe County, right outside of Athens. I don't fish Georgia lakes very much. And my answer is always because they suck. Georgia spends a lot of money on boat ramps, but doesn't spend a whole lot of money on largemouth bass. They spend most of their stocking money on striped bass and crappie. Thanks, Random Adventures, appreciate it. And so their bass fishing, which is what I enjoy, struggles. And it's really, really difficult to find bank fishing access, small pond access in Georgia. They have public fishing areas, but they're not everywhere. It's not like other states. But Florida, Tennessee, Alabama all care about their fishing because they understand the economic impact and they want their bass fishing to be good. And until Georgia changes the way they do things, that's just the way it is. I'm going to go to Alabama, I'm going to go to Tennessee, and I'm going to go down in Florida. And I don't know about Kentucky and all the other places. I know New Jersey has a lot of bank fishing access. It just all depends. But that's why I kind of moved up to the Northwest Georgia area so I could get over to Tennessee to the Tennessee River and fish a lot of those lakes because those are always good lakes. So, but anyway, let me get out of here. But like I always say, be sure to introduce somebody to fishing. Introduce them to my channel. Let me help you teach them how to fish. I'm gonna pick John Davis' nose. And more importantly, get out.